Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video, episode number 526, right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. Got your questions here regarding Raw, the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. In other words, the first Raw to go head-to-head with football, and they need some kind of hook to get you to tune in. Got your questions here, spring.me/AaronRift. First one today comes from Todrick923. What did you think of Raw tonight? I personally thought it was great compared to the past few Raws. Even the Jerry Springer segment was pretty good. Please answer in video, thanks. Well, overall, I think that Raw was definitely a better show than the previous 2 weeks. Thanks in part to Chris Jericho and his match with Bray Wyatt. I thought that that was easily the best of the 3 matches, and I'll get to that more in a minute. Chris Jericho doing the big dive off the top of the cage. That was a fun moment. And the only really bad segment, in my opinion, was the Jerry Springer segment. I thought that that was just as bad as I was expecting going in. And I think that it was one of those kind of segments that you want to just tune off and change a channel and watch something else. It was not pretty. And Bella Twins, the usual bad acting. Some of these segments, these train wreck entertainment segments that really involve no wrestling, sometimes I can find them to be entertaining, but to me, this wasn't even a segment that was bad in a good way. It's not like a Plan 9 from Outer Space where it's so bad you cannot help but watch it. To me, this is just a throwaway segment that I'll never watch again in my entire life, and there was nothing redeeming about it. WWE trying to do whatever they can to boost the ratings and have Jerry Springer on the show. And, the whole point of the segment was to build up Total Divas and draw more interest in that. They're really trying to boost the ratings for Total Divas, and Total Divas did over 1 million viewers for its first week back. And, WWE's trying to get those numbers up even higher. So, there is a purpose why they did that segment, but to me, I think it turned more people off than got them interested. Who knows? Maybe there were some people out there that found it entertaining and they'll tell their friends to tune into Raw based off of that segment. I really doubt it, but you never know. And this question comes from Buckshot1996. What did you think about the John Cena and Paul Heyman segment on Raw? I thought it was pretty well done. I agree. I think that John Cena did a really tremendous job on the mic. I thought that his promo was very well done, and his delivery was excellent. My big issue here, and somebody else asked me, actually a few people asked me, is this whole segment going to lead to some kind of swerve at Night of Champions where Paul Heyman turns on Brock Lesnar and joins up with John Cena, and we finally get the big John Cena heel turn? My answer is no. I think that the John Cena promo was essentially a shoot by WWE. That represented how WWE really feels about John Cena. He's the guy that goes out there, does the Make-A-Wish stuff. He goes out there, he supports the troops, he interacts with them, and he is John Cena. That is what John Cena is. Hustle, loyalty, respect, and that is never going to change. And I really feel that's how WWE sees the situation. They have this John Cena character. He is a success. He brings the company money. He brings the company good publicity. Why jeopardize that with a heel turn? Even though a heel turn could ignite renewed interest in WWE and bring in new viewers, but WWE doesn't look at that from that perspective. So I'm very confident that we are not going to see any kind of John Cena, Paul Heyman alliance. And as much as I would like to see something big go down at Night of Champions, John Cena going with Paul Heyman is not what's going to happen. I would be absolutely shocked if something like that happened. And WWE just released they trademarked a new John Cena logo. So That just goes to show you right there that they have long-term plans for him as a babyface with the merchandising, and nothing's going to change. It's going to remain the same. The only shock that we might see at Night of Champions is if Brock Lesnar absolutely destroys him again, which I don't see that happening as well. This one comes from WWE Portugal. Wow, WWE just made an NXT match on Raw. Do you think that they should do more of this in the future? They are hyping their future superstars as well as promoting the network and obviously making a better Raw. I enjoyed that match very much, even though it was really short. The purpose of the match was to promote the NXT TakeOver 2 this Thursday on the WWE Network. So I don't see them doing this as a regular thing, although I'd like to see it. I'd love to see more NXT matches on Raw. To me, it was a breath of fresh air. It was nice to have a change of pace from your usual routine every Monday night. And as far, somebody else asked me, who did you think looked the best on Raw? It seemed to me like it was designed to showcase Adrian Neville. He was the one that got to do all the cool spots, and he really got the crowd into it at the end. The crowd seemed bored for most of the match, but then when Adrian Neville came in and did his thing, the people really got into it. So that match definitely did a lot of good for him. And, I'm fairly certain we will see him on the main roster in the near future. And hopefully Sami Zayn as well, because, I've talked about him many times over the past few years. He absolutely deserves to be a regular on Raw. And, he just, he looked good too, but he didn't really have the opportunity to really showcase what he can do. Adrian Neville had more of an opportunity to go out there and do all the cool spots that got the people reacting. This one comes from Wrestling God 88. Were you disappointed that the Wyatt and Jericho match wasn't the main event? Last week it seemed to me that this was being built up for that spot. I don't really feel disappointed. I think that WWE had a purpose in opening the show with that match. The idea is you want to start the show off hot, and you want to get people hooked on watching Raw. You want them to watch right from the get-go and not even consider tuning into football. You want them to start watching and be into the show right from the get-go and continue watching it. So, having momentum at the start of the show is really important. So I totally understand why WWE put that match first. And like I said a few minutes ago, I feel that was easily the best of the three matches that Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho had. And Chris Jericho doing the big dive off the top of the cage, a memorable moment on Raw. I thought it was really well done. I liked the finish at the end with both of them at the door. I thought that was well done. I was happy with that match, and that was a good way to send off Chris Jericho. But then we got even more here, which leads me to the next question from Spectre World. Is Jericho going to use the knee injury to make his exit? I was a little surprised that we got... I figured that we would have Jericho written off in some fashion, and after the match, Bray Wyatt continued to beat up Chris Jericho. But then you had the backstage segment. Jericho was getting his knee looked at, and then you had Randy Orton attacking him and further aggravating the knee injury in storyline. So I'm not really sure why they had to go with the Randy Orton angle as well, but I guess they really wanted to nail it home to people that Chris Jericho is going to be gone, and that was his way of being written off television for the time being. So, I was fine with it. I just wasn't expecting it to be that extensive. I thought that, Bray Wyatt would win and then maybe lay him out after the match, and that would be it. I didn't expect the whole thing with Randy Orton as well. All right, this one comes from CPW1978. Aaron, what do you think of the Bunny stealing the thunder from Adam Rose? The Bunny angle could be a good way to debut new superstars on the main roster. I will say that I'm mildly intrigued by this angle with the Bunny, and people speculating about who it is. Is it Zack Ryder? Somebody asked me, is it Dean Ambrose? No, that would be a good way to kill his career. There's also speculation that it could be somebody returning like Darren Young. It could be any number of people. People assuming it's Shawn Michaels because he did a super kick, but I just think the super kick was done so they could call the move the rabbit's foot. That makes sense, and guys use other people's finishers all the time. How many people have the spear, for instance? One person made an interesting comparison that you could say the bunny is to Adam Rose in the same fashion that Sable was to Mark Merrow. And I could definitely see that being the case, because to me the Adam Rose character hasn't really gone anywhere, but now all of a sudden the bunny is starting to get noticed, and people are talking about and speculating about who the bunny could be under the mask. I don't think it's going to be any kind of major superstar, because this is essentially still a comedy angle. So, for it to be somebody like Dean Ambrose would make absolutely no sense. But yeah, I mean, somebody like Darren Young coming back from injury, I mean, that would certainly be a way that you could bring him back, but I wouldn't make it any kind of major star, to be honest. All right, this one comes from CPW1978. Hey Aaron, in NoDQ&A video number 524, you hinted on a Wyatt family split. Do you think Bo Dallas may play a role in such, either to take over for Bray or team with his real brother to battle Harper and Rowan? Speaking of, could Harper and Rowan succeed without Bray? Well, that's a very good question. I mean, I don't know how far that Harper and Rowan can go without Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is the star of the team, but a lot of people are high on Harper and feel that he's a really talented wrestler and he could go far on his own. I don't know about the tag team once they split from Bray Wyatt. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some kind of feud once the team breaks up, so that'll last for a while, and that'll keep the Harper and Rowan team busy for the time being. I would love to see Bo Dallas go with Bray Wyatt, at least in the short term. I think in the long term, Bray Wyatt should be a singles competitor and shouldn't be stuck in a tag team. But I think it's inevitable that one day we'll see Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas as a team together. I think Bo Dallas needs a change of pace here. This whole Bo leave thing, it's going to have a very short shelf life. So maybe before the Wyatt family splits, you could have Bo Dallas take on a more serious role and align himself with Bray Wyatt. I mean, at least that's what I would do. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter, and I will see you guys next time for more.